And as the 1st September deadline to conclude talks with the Taliban closes in, United States of America, China, Russia and Pakistan have come together to hammer out a peace deal with the Taliban. This new strategic alignment on Afghanistan is causing India a great deal of discomfort. Not only does it leave India out of the decision-making loop, the United States-led talks have not even accommodated concerns that have been expressed by Indian authorities. In the past 18 years, India has gained immense goodwill in Afghanistan. India invested in schools, dams, infrastructural projects, and electoral process as well. Post-2001, the US-led invasion pushed Taliban out of Afghanistan and ensured the takeover of Kabul by the Northern Alliance. Ironically, India's position of advantage was heavily compromised by the unilateral talks which the US undertook with the Taliban. Not only did it discredit the functional government with which India has deep ties, it also left the present Kabul dispensation out of the loop. Americans want to exit Afghanistan quickly. It is for this reason the US engaged the Taliban despite continuous attacks by them on the present government. The US Special Envoy on Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, after the conclusion of the Doha talks with the Taliban, briefed both Russian and Chinese officials subsequently. Pakistani officials were invited for talks in Beijing, where all the four countries released a statement on the conclusion of the two-day meeting between the four countries. The statement acknowledged the importance of Pakistan in facilitating peace in Afghanistan. To top it all, Hamid Karzai, former president of Afghanistan, who is supposed to have close ties with India, became a facilitator of Taliban talks in both Beijing and Moscow. India, on the other hand, has been insisting that elections in Afghanistan must be held on schedule. This demand of India has not cut much ice with American counterparts who want the elections to be postponed so that peace talks can quickly conclude. Today, India is neither on the table where political negotiations with the Taliban are taking place, nor has it been able to impress big powers with its concerns. On the other hand, Pakistan has cut India from Afghanistan by continuing with the airspace ban, imposing economic costs, and making a political point about Islamabad's indispensability. Critics in India, though, believe that what matters in the end is not Delhi's diplomatic presence at various peace initiatives, but its quiet and sustained engagement with all Afghan political formations. The US has granted Iran's Foreign Minister Javad Zarif a visa to attend the upcoming UN summit in New York. Reports suggest that the decision to grant the visa to Javad Zarif was taken at the highest level and was approved by the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Zarif will now attend the UN session of the Economic and Social Council, which is to take place in New York. Had Pompeo not approved the visa or giving of the visa to Zarif, it could have been a signal that the US was trying to further isolate the Islamic Republic and perhaps closing the door to diplomacy. The US Treasury Secretary had last month said that he was considering placing sanctions on Zarif, but this decision was not carried out. Many sources suggest that the US did not want to send out mixed signals by opening the door to diplomacy and sanctioning Iran's chief negotiator at the same time. However, the foreign minister will reportedly have limited mobility within the city. Zarif's visa restricts his movement to the United Nations headquarters, the Iranian embassy and his quarters. The move comes after Iran's President Hassan Rouhani said that Iran was open to talks provided the US lifts its sanctions. Meanwhile, European foreign ministers are meeting in Brussels today. The meeting will focus on how to convince Iran and the US to reduce tensions and initiate a dialogue. This amid fears that the 2015 nuclear deal is close to collapsing. Iran has already reached the 3.67% enrichment limit that was set by the deal in 2015. A joint statement by Britain, Germany and France ahead of the meeting once again reiterated support for the 2015 nuclear deal. The 5,000-year-old Sharda Peeth is an abandoned temple and center of learning. It is located in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and is dedicated to the Hindu goddess of learning. Many have seen pictures of the stone ruins amidst the picturesque snow-capped peaks, but only a few have managed to see it in person. Sharda Peeth has been off limits to Indians since 1947, and now after Kartarpur corridor demands are being made, especially by Kashmiri Pandits, to open up one of the holiest places for Hindus in the region. WION travelled to Sharda Peeth to find out more about the iconic centre of learning in a special series. Here is the first report.
Sharda Peeth is situated in the Neelam Valley, about 135 kilometers from Muzaffarabad. It has been out of bounds for Indian pilgrims since partition. Sharda Peeth was once regarded as a major center of Vedic learning. One of 18 revered temples in South Asia, Sharda Peeth is on a par with the ancient seats of learning at Nalanda and Takshashila.
It's right beside the river Neelam as well, that is flowing as we talk. It's flowing in all its glory, in all its rush.
As one approaches the temple, one can hear the waters of river Neelam flowing nearby. The temple holds a special significance for the Kashmiri Hindus, also known as Kashmiri Pandits. They regard it as a Shakti Peeth, a shrine built at the place where the body parts of Sati Devi had fallen while her body was being carried by her husband, Lord Shiva.
Yes, we're at the Sharda temple, the same Sharda temple that is very sacred to the Hindu Pandits. It unfortunately suffered some damage in the 2005 earthquakes, but it is yet to be renovated. We're seeing some plans of the Pakistani military and the local government as well, that is along the line of control, to renovate and to convert this temple into a university. Now, this is one of those highly revered temples throughout South Asia that commemorate the location of fallen body parts of the Hindu deity Sati. So overall, Sharda Peeth is more than just 5,000 years old as well. But there are some references that this shrine is rather than the center of learning. Just 8 to 10 kilometers from here is the actual line of control between India and Pakistan. With video journalist Shahbaz Masood, Anas Malik, along the line of control at Sharda Peeth Temple, for WION, World is One. 130 kilometers from Srinagar, 135 kilometers from Muzaffarabad, 8 kilometers from the actual line of control. 11 hours of road trip from Pakistan's capital Islamabad all the way to the Sharda Peeth Temple. WION, World is One brings you the exclusive ground report. Watch me, Anas Malik, as I report from the Sharda Peeth Temple on WION, World is One.